Hi, my name is John Hoskins, and this is Project-Based Learning in Higher Education. The mission of Concordia University is a Christian university preparing leaders for the transformation of society. Concordia University utilizes its mission in curriculum development. The Lutheran traditions of open discourse and others help prepare leaders, allowing students to speak freely and become scholars. The rigorous coursework grows students into scholars by stimulating their minds and expanding their preparedness into a global economy. This and other experiences transform students, giving them an example of how to transform society around them. Prince and Felder address an emerging trend in higher education called project-based learning to address the ability of students to be able to learn and use knowledge, a necessary skill set in the workplace. Lester and Costley discussed that higher education does not help the skills needed to be a leader in terms of communication skills and problem-solving skills. Thus, the traditional method for teaching in higher education goes against Concordia's mission. Project-based learning requires team projects so that students are able to solve problems together. Students learn best through active learning, a topic well known by educators such as Marx. Active learning can work with multiple learning styles by allowing students to explore the material individually and socially as described by Gomez-Lehner. Marx identified the issue that people will need to be prepared for their careers, which includes how to work together to solve problems. This issue needs to be discussed at this time because the literature contains many examples of how cognitive engagement and motivation are linked, as discussed in Blumenfield et al. 1991. Yet higher education does not promote this concept enough. These were the top 5 out of 11 recommendations from a Delphi study to address the issue of project-based learning. Prepare students in a global knowledge or information age and as responsible citizens in a democracy. Encourage thinking creatively. Foster a collaborative learning process. Strategically hiring creative and innovative thinkers. Create an environment where students are interested more in the process than the answer. The framework for the plan to implement project-based learning will include the following stakeholders: Board of Trustees, Academic Senate, staff, associated student body, leaders in local businesses, and local taxpayers. The local business leader will be the chair of a committee representing the stakeholders as recommended by Marx. The group's task is to understand and make a recommendation about changing the curriculum to project-based learning campus-wide. A couple of longer meetings during the summer break should be useful. Documentation and training will be provided to the group on how project-based learning works. Marx suggested that an expert should attend. The group will create a controlled environment to test project-based learning with students, as suggested by Fullen and Scott. A mixed methods model should be used, as described by Creswell, which should include a survey to determine the specific aspects of the experience that are beneficial or otherwise, and the respondents should include everyone who participated. The quantitative aspect should use a Likert scale, asking questions about project-based learning for Concordia, which could also be a Delphi study. Transformational and servant leaders were discussed in the same Delphi study as before. The ideas include: a good leader develops projects that are student-centered, real-world, and are significant to students. A good transformational leader teaches project-based students through an investigation of defined goals. A servant leader develops project-based lifelong learners with advanced thinking skills, good inquiry skills, and the art of listening. Stakeholders should be committed to project-based learning, and they should actively promote it to other faculty and businesses. Here are my references. Thank you for watching.